All right, y'all, so I'm just gonna start this off by saying it's not my fault that I don't have any footage from Miami, but it is at the same time. Okay, but it's really not my fault because they actually would not allow me to bring my camera in to film anything, which I thought was weird because they allowed me to film before, and they also allowed another YouTuber that admins for another group on Facebook, another surgery group. She's the admin and she like works for Pure, so he allowed her to film. But I'm not really sure why they didn't want, I don't know if it was like specifically for me or not, but like they didn't allow me to bring my camera or anything. Like they specifically told me I couldn't. So that's why I don't have any like doctor's footage. I don't have any actual footage of like the Airbnb that I stayed at this time. Actually, it was the same one from last time. So pretty much the Airbnb from last time and the place is like the surgery center is the same. I literally just couldn't get any footage. Number one, because they wouldn't allow me to. Number two, I also brought my kids with me this time. So if you're a parent, you already know how that goes. You can't even eat when you have kids around you, let alone film a vlog. Like, it was just so hectic for me. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it was probably the worst recovery experience I've ever had in my like 4 surgeries that I've had. Just for the simple fact that I didn't really have a lot of help. So normally when I go down, I go by myself. I don't bring my kids. So I'm able to just take care of myself and I can do things on my own. But this time I brought my kids, and my sister, bless her heart, she has fur babies, not real babies. So like I ended up having to do a lot of the taking care of them by myself, like one day post-op, like same day post-op. I ended up having to do, like, thank God it was just like it was really a scar revision with a breast lift and a little bit on my butt. So it wasn't like a major surgery. Like if I would have had to get implants put in or taken out, like, sis, I might have had to call me an on-call nanny to be in Miami because there was just no way. I'm sorry, I'm looking oily because I put this makeup on hours ago and had some stuff to do. But yeah, so it was a pretty bad experience for me. I ain't even gonna cap. I was in pain trying to take care of my kids, but you know, when you got kids, you gotta do what you gotta do. I really couldn't find a last minute like a nanny to like take care of my kids that I trusted. So I just took them with me and just like chalked it up, took the L, and was like, you just gotta do what you gotta do at this point. And my husband couldn't come because military, you only get leave days 2 times out of the year, and this was not one of those times. So yeah, I mean, that's just that on that. But as far as the Airbnb, sis, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give an Airbnb a review as well as my post-op, like how I'm feeling now, what the boobs are looking like and all that. Airbnb that I showed y'all last time, I really was trying to keep it cordial in that video and not put the Airbnb host on blast. But he really tried it this time. He really tried it because when we came in there, literally I stayed there 3 times. I never saw what this man or his son looked like ever until this last time I stayed there. And my sister, she was dog sitting for somebody, and they said they were coming to get the dogs before we were supposed to check into the Airbnb, but like something happened and they had to come a few hours later. Tell me why this man literally stood outside of his house harassing us and was like, oh, are you gonna bring those dogs in here? And I was like, no. At the time, there was no intention of bringing them in. The lady was supposed to come pick them up. I was like, no, they're not coming in here. Those aren't my dogs. And so he was like, okay. And he went back in the house. And a few hours later, we still had the dogs. So we were just like riding around. We finally came back to Airbnb, and the lady was supposed to pick them up then. And she had to, I don't know, I'm not the dog sitter lady, I'm not the dog sitter, so I don't know exactly what was going on, but she couldn't pick them up at that moment. So my sister was like, hey, can we bring these dogs in just for a few hours until they can get picked up? This guy was like, no, my mom is allergic to dogs, so you can't have dogs in here. Meanwhile, I ain't never seen this lady. I don't even know if this guy is actually married. Like, what do you mean your mom is allergic to dogs? And then like they had a cat there, so it's not even like there was a, we asked him, we were like, hey, if we like just paid the pet cleaning fee, can we bring the dogs in? And he was like, no, you can't do that. Like, he was just being so uncompromising when we were literally like stuck in this situation. So my sister ended up having to sleep in the car with the dogs, because the lady, like I said, I don't know what they were doing, but she ended up having to sleep in the car with the dogs like for a few hours until she picked them up, because she couldn't come in the Airbnb and it was getting late. So she had to sleep in the rental car, which was complete trash, complete BS. Like, out of all the times that this guy could have like been like, I stayed with you 3 times and you really couldn't be compromising and let my sister bring the dogs in for a few hours. Like, they were just like, there's 2 separate rooms. There's like the room towards the front, and then there's a door, and then there's a room where you walk in. It's not a room, it's really like a living room area, but he put a bed in there. But and there, the dogs weren't gonna be in there. They weren't gonna be allowed on the furniture. Like, we already set ground rules, like trying to make it so that the dogs could be in there and my sister wouldn't have to stay in a hot ass car in Miami. And also, the neighborhood was ghetto, sis. Like, somebody tried to steal the hitch off of my friend's truck the last time we were there. I didn't include that. Like, I really, like, I sent this man, I left an okay review for the last time I was there, because I was like, it wasn't a great stay, but it wasn't like, you know, terrible. Like, if you just need somewhere to sleep, it's okay. But I private messaged him and I was like, hey, this is a list of things that were wrong, bitch. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. We had to hand flush the toilet. Like, I'm talking about take the top off, you know, play with the little chain and flush the toilet every time we had to flush the toilet. Like, imagine having your BBO recovery and having to do that. Like, what in the ghetto mess is this? Like, and we had to do that for the 2 or 3 days that we were there. Like, bro, it was so ghetto. I told him about that. The window, it did not lock, so somebody could have easily came and robbed us or took our stuff if they knew where to look. Like, I had to put a hanger in the window so you wouldn't be able to open it because it was that ghetto. And then he didn't even leave me an apartment key when I came in there. So I dropped my stuff off and I'm looking for the key, rummaging around. There was no key. So I had to leave and come back in an hour or 2 to check into my Airbnb, because he was like, oh, the maid, which is the dude's mom. He was like, oh, the maid didn't leave the key in the room. I'm sorry about that. Hours later. How you gonna message me hours later when my check-in is at 3? How you gonna message me hours later talking about, oh, she didn't leave the key in there, my bad. What's so funny? What's so funny? Because I paid for the space, so you didn't have the key ready. You didn't have the Wi-Fi ready for me. Like, if I had business to do, I couldn't do the business. If I had to vlog and I wanted to share the footage with y'all, I couldn't because I didn't have the Wi-Fi. And like, the whole... And then there was a shelf in the bathroom. The man ripped down the shelf or whatever he did, or he didn't put it in correctly, because he literally put plaster on the 2 walls and on the 2 holes on the wall and didn't even bother painting it to make it look decent. Nothing. There was leftover toiletries from the previous person that was in there. Like, I'm talking about empty bottles, near empty bottles of people's toiletries in the shower. So like, ma'am, did you even clean the shower? Like, that's disgusting. Like, bro, there was no toiletries like how they normally have them out. Like, and then he had the nerve to say, leave like a letter with the envelope on the spare bed and was like, please don't forget to tip your maid. For what? She didn't clean the Airbnb properly. There was like little like ants crawling around and shit. She didn't leave the key. I ain't got the Wi-Fi. Like, and the maid is your mother. I pay you an Airbnb, a cleaning fee. I'm not leaving no tip. She already got paid to do what she's supposed to do. I'm not leaving no tip. Ghetto little Airbnb. And then the last time we were there, my sister was outside smoking, and like, I know you're not supposed to smoke in people's Airbnbs. That's common sense. My sister was outside smoking. Tell me why he left a bad review for me last time and was like, oh yeah, very nice, but she needs to honor our no smoking policy. I'm like, my sister didn't smoke in the Airbnb. What are you talking about? He was like, oh, I'm sorry. It was the next door tenant, because they have another tenant. He was like, oh, it was the next door tenant. I got you guys confused. I'm going to try to take down the review. You're so nice. You're like the best tenant ever. Y'all, I have the screenshots and everything. So if somebody want to dispute this, run it up, because I have the screenshots of everything. But anyway, and And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, and never got the review taken down. So it's still up there. So that's why he getting blasted, because you're not about to sit here and put out false information on me and me not say anything. Like, I've been too nice to stay with you 3 times in this ghetto ass Airbnb, and you really just gonna do that? And then, like, y'all, another creepy thing, I was in my Airbnb with my kids, and he gonna come knocking on the door. I'm thinking it's my sister, because remember, she's outside with the dogs. And he's like, oh, if you want, you can put the dogs in the backyard. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have any dogs. He was like, oh, I thought the dogs were in here. Sir, you just told me not even a few hours ago the dogs are not allowed in here. So basically, you trying to check up on me and see if the dogs are in here. Like, if you want to be sneaky, just say that. Just say that, because you know darn well you ain't offering no solutions. And he didn't even tell my sister that she could put the dogs in the back. Like, he just, ooh, I would not recommend this place. It's called Ricky and Ed, and they talking about, oh, it's always booked. It's always booked because it's cheap. But once you actually get there, like, where the you know what, I would not recommend this place. I'm not even gonna leave a link on this place because it's just trash. Would not recommend it. It's in the hood. Like, if you got something valuable in your car, literally do not leave it, because you in the hood and your stuff is gonna get stolen. I wouldn't be surprised if the rental got stolen at that point, girl. And then there was barely any parking, and then he always had like these tires around trees. Like, it just looks so ghetto. It looked like a makeshift Airbnb. Like, he was just picking stuff off the street and trying to make the Airbnb look good. Like, there was like random pieces of like sculptures and whatnot in the back. There was glass. I got pictures of the glass, the party forks, like the little utensils on the ground. Like, it was just so like, I would not recommend this place. Like, but if you literally have like a last minute and absolutely just need somewhere to sleep, don't really care what it's looking like, go ahead, do what you gotta do. But I would not recommend this place. So with that review being out of the way, my boobs, I absolutely love my boobs now. Well, I won't say absolutely, they're better than they were before. They don't sag. They are a little bit like, just, they're not perfect, but I guess he did what he like could do with my boobs. I would say that they like are a small D now. I wanted a C or a small C, but they're a D now because I still have the implant. But he did take as much skin as he could. He like reshaped my nipples. Like, I'm happy with that overall. There's no need for me to get another surgery unless I'm getting my implants taken out, which I will probably do in like 9 years when they're due, or when they start sagging again. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, as far as my surgery experience, it was good. Pleased with my results. Like, it was what it was. Airbnb was trash. I mean, oh, I've been using the Silogen, the scar gel on my scars. I apply that twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And I leave these silicone tape strips. Y'all, I got a new neighbor. I'm so salty about it. Like, ugh. But anyway, I'll leave these silicone tape strips on. So it looks like this in the package, but like you can cut it to customize it to fit. So that's what I've been doing. This is a new box, but yeah, like it's really just been that simple as far as boob care for me. I haven't really had a lot of complications as far as like me popping stitches or like having an opening, because last time I had an opening, like, because with the anchor there's the line that comes down from your areola and then it comes out like that, and normally right here there's like a little opening. It's very common apparently, but I didn't have that problem this time. But yeah, recovery has pretty much been a breeze. I'm so happy to be back on here, y'all. Like, I had to just take a break, recover, get my mind right. But I am happy to be able to leave you guys this review. So again, it was with Dr. Earl, pure plastic surgery. If you need something, you know, just let your girl know. But when you go in, he doesn't mind wish pics or a vision board. So like, if you got it, sis, bring it. Like, he'll look at it and refer to it right before he does your surgery. So yeah, I have no bad things to say about him. Like, he's a great doctor. His post-op care is A1. I haven't had no problems with infections or anything. Like, yeah. But I will be filming a vlog when I go to Miami in June with my best friend, because that's my best friend and she a real big, you don't need no need. Okay, anyway, yeah, we're going to Miami for my birthday, a little pre-celebration, so you guys will get that video in a few months, obviously. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to see you guys back here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.